What's cracking, yo? Welcome back to Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. It was only a matter of time, folks. It was only a matter of time. I knew this day was coming. I just didn't know exactly when and how it would happen. But yes, the report is Shannon Sharpe is leaving Undisputed. I knew he didn't want to work on the show anymore because of Skip Bayless. Sharpe was done with Skip Bayless. And there are two incidents that come to mind that were very egregious. And I felt for Shannon Sharpe, those two incidents were the straw breaking the camel's back. NBC Sports reports, when Skip Bayless left ESPN for FS1, Fox paired him with Hall of Famer tight end Shannon Sharpe. Sharpe is now leaving their morning show, Undisputed. Via Ryan Glasspiegel of the New York Post, Sharpe and Fox Sports have reached a buyout that will result in Sharpe leaving the show and the network. So he's leaving the whole network. His podcast, Club Shay Shay, also will be leaving Fox. The reason isn't clear. Oh, buddy. Come on, y'all. Stop playing stupid. The reason isn't clear. Glasspiegel mentions the friction that emerged between Sharpe and Bayless after the Damar Hamlin incident. Sharpe skipped the show the next morning, apparently as a protest to Bayless' seemingly callous response to the situation. They squabbled about it when Sharpe returned. More recently, Sharpe was sued by Hall of Famer Brett Favre for defamation based on things Sharpe said about Favre during the show. Fox is not a defendant in that case. Of course, Shannon, what did you think? You think they were going to have your back against Brett Favre? Stop it. It remains to be seen where the 54-year-old Sharpe, who played for the Broncos and Ravens, will land. He previously worked for CBS. It also remains to be seen who FS1 will hire to replace Sharpe as a counter to Skip Bayless. Look, I'm not surprised about all this. I didn't know how it would work. Like, did he have to wait for his contract to be up? But just like most things, he was able to buy out his contract. That tells you how quickly he wanted to get the hell out of there. All right. Before the Damar Hamlin situation, the situation that happened with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe, and Skip Bayless defending Tom Brady and more or less diminishing Shannon Sharpe's career and legacy as a football player, as if he was insignificant, especially compared to Brady. If y'all remember that, it got emotional, it got fiery on the set. And Shannon obviously reacted some type of way, getting all flustered, yelling back and forth, couldn't believe that Skip Bayless, his boy, was taken up for Tom Brady and slighting him. It wasn't so much that he was taken up for Tom Brady, but how much he was slighting him and making him seem insignificant, especially compared to Tom Brady's career. And Skip, before that happened, Skip has, threw little daggers at him regarding somewhat the same sentiment. But this time, it was the whole shebang shaboom. Skip threw everything at him. Dropped the Acme TNT box on his head, right? Wile E. Coyote style, you know what I mean? And remember, Shannon got all flustered, took his glasses off, put them on the table. Skip he looks at him like he's an idiot, like, what are you doing? Put your glasses back on. Put your glasses back on. Listen, I was cracking up when he said that. I was like, Lord. I was like, oh, man. Oh, man. But that happened. And even after that, I was like, yo, I don't think Skip wants to be around this anymore. I think he's going to leave. And then not too long after that, the Damar Hamlin situation went down. And Skip showed no regard for this guy's life and this guy's health and was only focused on the football game And the notion of the NFL canceling the game in lieu of the incidents that took place on the field. And Skip would not back down from that. And Skip would not give a straightforward apology for that. Did. And, they came on, like I said, Skip didn't come in, and eventually they came on and talked about it. And Shannon tried to bring it up, and Skip more or less wasn't having it. And said, the producers or whatever said that we don't have to talk about this or something of those lines. But anyway, as a football player and being part of the football family, the NFL family, of course, Sharpe and a lot of other people shared the sentiment. Skip was extremely toxic in that situation. And then after that happened, after the shot Skip took at Sharpe with the whole Tom Brady situation, I knew. So that's it, man. Sharpe don't want to be part of this nonsense no more. He doesn't. And we know Skip is very toxic. Skip is very opinionated, and Skip will die on his sword. Skip is very unapologetic. He's like, hey, if you don't like what I gotta say, you. That's Skip Bayless, man. Skip ain't apologizing for nothing. Oh man, so I knew, and then the Brett Favre said, I didn't even think about that, but I guess Shannon Sharpe felt some type of way that he wasn't getting anybody involved with the show, the network, to stand behind him on the Brett Favre situation. Even though what Brett Favre was doing, a lot of things, especially with this whole, scandal situation with the money, is super criminal, man. But, that's not an issue they want to talk about. I wonder why. So he felt some type of way about that, So, like I said, I didn't even think about the Brett Favre situation. I did. And how Fox Sports didn't have his back with the defamation case. So here we are now. He's on his way out the door. Buyout is there. Looks like he's taking his show, Club Shay Shay, with him. Now I don't know if Fox Sports has any ties into that show, but if if Shannon Sharpe can secure most of the rights to that show or all of them, he'll be fine if that's the only thing he wants to do. The show Club Shay Shay on YouTube has become very popular. One of the more popular, sports figurehead shows on the internet. And he has a lot of support, so he could probably flourish off that better than most people could, if he can take that with him. But I'm sure he doesn't want to do just that, So I don't know how much money his lifestyle requires too. But either way, he seems like a guy that wants to, have a main job and do Club Shay Shay on the side. It's kind of what I get from it. But anyway, he's leaving, man. He's leaving. It's been like, what, 7-8 years since they've been working on set together. And despite the problems I have with both of these guys, including Shannon Sharpe, like I said, both these guys, they, for good or for bad, they had good chemistry together. Whether the points they were talking about were ridiculous, whether the things that were coming out of their mouth was ridiculous, revisionist history, Skip more than anything, as long as he's been in the sports circle and has had and tapped in to all these sports in a way that we could never be, all this information he can get, all the experience he has, it blows my mind how little he knows about some of these sports based on how he talks and backs up his facts. He just likes to be volatile, man. I really, especially basketball, I really question Skip Bayless's basketball knowledge. We already saw what Mark Cuban did to him. Couldn't explain to him what a 2-3 zone is. And you on TV making millions as a sports analyst, and you don't know how a 2-3 zone, the most basic zone in basketball, the most common zone in basketball. You can't explain to me what a 2-3 zone is. Come on, Skip. But anyway, Sharp's on his way out the door. Sounds like he will be leaving the show sometime after the NBA Finals. Don't know exactly when that date is going to be, but definitely after the NBA Finals, sometime in the summer, he's going to be gone. It's going to be hard for them to find a replacement for Shannon Sharpe. It is going to be very hard. Maybe everything will get flipped upside down. Maybe Skip Bayless will go back to First Take. I don't see that happening because Skip has an ego and it has to be his show. And it's probably safe to say that First Take has now become Stephen A's show. So if Skip Bayless goes back, it ain't going to be his show no more. So I don't see that happening for that reason. But it's going to be hard to find a replacement for Shannon Sharpe. He set the bar high just on his charisma, his banter, and his chemistry with Skip. Whether they hated each other or whether he disliked Skip the last couple months of their tenure together or not, it's going to be hard to find a replacement. The bar is pretty high. And I don't like the guy. I don't like a lot of things he says. But once Shannon Sharpe leaves, that show is going to lose a lot of entertainment value and will more or less be a dumpster fire. Hey, that is going to be a building on flames, gone up in smoke once Sharpe leaves. Me personally, I don't care either way. But I just think that's the reality of the situation moving forward. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Hell, I'm surprised he put up with Skip as long as he did. You can imagine how aggravating it has to be trying to argue with Skip back and forth. You know, you ask him a question, especially if he doesn't have an answer for it, he doesn't, be like, oh, that's a good point, da 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 da, or even give a good try at a rebuttal. He'll just laugh and gawk and then switch the subject or bring up some point as a defense that has nothing to do with nothing, like he's smooth and try to segue into a different point of discussion. uh Uses the same argument over and over and over and over again, even though it has nothing to do specifically with the situation at hand. If you've watched the show, you can understand how aggravating it is to have a healthy argument with this guy. And look, I just got to be honest with you. I got to be honest. I think for quite some time now, Shannon Sharpe has more or less been carrying that show, more so than Skip Bayless. And it's considered Skip Bayless' show. And I think when it comes to the actual debates, which it is a debate show, but I think 90% of the time, across all sports topics that they talk about, which isn't much considering the wide world of sports that we have, I think Shannon Sharpe wins. I think, I don't even like, convincingly wins these arguments most of the time. Honestly, I think he wipes the floor. I think Skip Bayless's intelligence on some of these sports topics and some of these sports is abysmal, especially considering how tapped in he's been and the access he's had. It blows my mind. And the only time where Shannon Sharpe tends, honestly, the only time Shannon Sharpe tends to falter in some of his debates and arguments is when he gets overly emotional, being the bronzexual that he is, and he starts to lose focus. And in doing so, from losing focus, he starts to contradict himself against takes that he's had in the past as he gets wound up around the finger of LeBron James. But outside of that, outside of his love and adoration, pouring honey all over his body for LeBron James, he wipes the floor with Skip Bayless. He does, especially when it comes to football. But I don't even know why Skip Bayless is trying to go up there and argue football with him. Yeah, he smokes him. He smokes him. Wraps him up in a cigar. Blowing it out on Club Shay Shay with a bottle of whiskey. Like I said, Club Shay Shay is very, very, very popular. I'm pretty sure he has over 1 million subs. And a lot of his videos get lots of views. I was surprised how quickly that show took off. But he has made a name for himself and a platform for himself, even more so after joining Skip Bayless than what he was previously. Meanwhile, I don't know if any of you guys have ever saw Skip Bayless's show on YouTube. I don't remember what it's called. I watched a few episodes and it was boring. Absolutely boring. Skip Bayless's platform on YouTube pales in comparison to Club Shay Shay. Like, it's not even close. It's not even close. You would be surprised that Skip Bayless was a guy on one of the most popular sports shows on TV, and a guy that's been a popular guy in the circle of reporters and analysts over the last decade. Well over the last decade. Over 2 decades. You would be surprised at this guy's YouTube channel. But I think that also shows that by himself, Skip Bayless isn't as strong as he is paired with somebody else that has good chemistry with him. But I'm happy for Shannon Sharpe as understanding what it feels like to come up from under a situation, especially a working situation that has to do with your career, coming up from under a situation that you feel isn't good for you and getting a fresh new start, doing something else that you would rather do. It's a great feeling. So congratulations to Shannon. It'll be interesting to see where things go from here on out for both sides, because I can assure you that Shannon Sharpe, a lot of networks, a lot of shows are going to have their eyes set on Shannon Sharpe. A lot of people want him on their panel. That's all I gotta say about it. No surprise to me. I knew this was coming after those incidents I talked about. But let me know what you think about it. Would love to hear your opinion. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified. I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.